me just a second. Okay,
Okay.
so our IT department has started the video for us, so whenever you are ready to go ahead.
Okay. Okay. I would like to call the meeting of the St. Louis County Board of Zoning Adjustment to order. The board members present today are Angelia Bills, Chair, Justin Randall, Vice Chair, and Vincent Nutt, Member. The Department of Planning staff members are Debbie Nesbitt, Abby Freudel, and Gretchen Arnold. Also on the call is John Burford from the County Counsel's Office. First, I'd like to offer into the record the affidavit of publication pertaining to today's meeting, May 1st, 2024. The board hereby takes official notice of and admits into evidence on the record the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance, Chapter 1003, St. Louis County Revised Ordinance 1974 as amended, and Chapter 1004, St. Louis County Revised Ordinance 1974 as amended. Next, I'd like to call for a motion to approve the minutes of the previous BZA meeting of April 17, 2024.
I move to approve the minutes.
Okay. Is there a second?
I second.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
The motion passes. This meeting is conducted as a teleconference and is recorded. The planning staff will read each request into the record and present technical advice to the board if needed. The petitioner will be unmuted, state their name, and make a brief presentation to the board explaining the reason and hardship for the requested variance. The board will not consider financial hardships. Board members may ask questions to clarify the facts. When the board is satisfied with the material presented, the chairperson will then ask if there is anyone in favor or opposition to the request. To do so, click the hand next to your name. If any comments were submitted, staff will read them into the record. Before a call for the vote, the petitioner may request a continuance in order to bring in additional documentation. The board may also request a continuance to gather additional information or for a visit to the site. Once comments have been heard, the chairperson will call for a vote. At that time, the discussion is ended. No further discussion is permitted. The board will generally make a decision today. If a variance is approved, the petitioner has 6 months to obtain the necessary permits or establish the use requested, or the variance will expire. The petitioner or any interested party has the right of appeal to the St. Louis County Circuit Court. Paperwork indicating the board's decision will be mailed to the petitioners.
All right, our first petition for you guys today is 38-24 David Vogel, which is a request for an exception to the side yard regulations for the purpose of relocating pool equipment at 13209 Barrett Grove Drive, maintaining a side yard of 5 feet in lieu of 10 feet as required by the R2 Residence District regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. Dave, I'm going to request for you to unmute like we just did. I have not seen your the pool company show up yet, so.
Okay. Can you hear me okay, everyone?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Yes. So thank you, first of all, for allowing me the time to share my thoughts on this. And so I'm the homeowner and a new resident with new construction on this was just an existing lot that was subdivided into 3 half-acre lots in the Kirkwood area. So the area of concern is on the right rear side of my house is where I would like to locate the pool filter and the pool pump, the pool equipment that goes along with an in-ground gunite pool. This area, in my opinion, makes perfect sense for the pool equipment to be. It is the same area where my Spire gas meter is, the condensers for the air conditioners. Everything is located utility-wise on that right side of the house. So yeah, as you can see on the, and I apologize, I'm colorblind, but on the, it looks like maybe a red line there you're pointing it. So that area is the area that we propose to put the pool equipment rather than in the backyard where it would be just aesthetically not pleasing at all. And again, like I said, on that side yard, that's where all the utilities, gas meter, air conditioner, condenser, everything comes in that side. So that's not the side. That's the neighbor's. the other way. I don't know what that's about. So it's, yeah, like I said, my gas is located right where that 97.00 is kind of down from that a little bit. The gas comes in right there. The condenser for the air conditioner is right ahead of that, going towards the backyard. Everything's located on that same run, if you want to say. And that's where I'd also like to keep the pool equipment.
Are there any questions?
Maybe I just missed it. Can you confirm the hardship of why we wouldn't put it in the rear, just to confirm?
The basic hardship would be is it's aesthetically, it's right underneath like my bedroom window. When we built this house, we never realized that would even would be an issue. I've got my, the house is a nice house, and it's going to be right there underneath a bedroom window. Aesthetically, it just doesn't go at all with the rear of the house. And again, I keep reiterating, but that right side of the house is where all other equipment is located as far as utilities, air conditioner, condensers. It just all makes sense there. There was recently a retaining wall that was put there. It's hidden. It's below that. It would be just an area that only makes sense for everything to run off that right side of the house.
Where is is there an adjacent neighbor on that side?
Yes, he's.
Go back to the area, like you skipped over it really fast. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, I apologize. There's an existing neighbor to the, where this area that we're talking about. Where his air conditioner, condensers, and everything all face mine also. So they kind of mirror each other there, if you want to say. His utilities come in that same side. My side is the same way. We mirror, we face each other that way, if you want to say, on the sides of our house.
And just for the board's knowledge, this aerial is a 2018 aerial. The most recent one we have from a different platform was really blurry and still didn't show the houses. So that's why you're not seeing like the actual house on this aerial.
Okay. Okay. Are there any other questions? Okay. Is there anyone on here in favor or opposition?
I don't see any hands. So at this time, I'm going to mute the petitioner so the board can take a vote. This is 38-24.
Okay. In the matter of 38-24, I vote to approve the variance as advertised.
Second that motion.
Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. None opposed. The motion passes.
All right, moving on to 39-24, Scott Carfield is a request for an exception to the side yard regulations for the purpose of repairing an existing deck at 2908 Woodbridge Creek Drive, maintaining a side yard of 5 feet in lieu of 8 feet as required by the R2 Residence District regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance and PEU Ordinance 14,266. Scott, I'm going to request for you to unmute and then just state your name and you'll be able to present to the board.
Hello.
Hi, Scott, we can hear you.
Hi, thank you. So the situation is I've been the owner of this property since 2006. The deck has been existing since well before I purchased the property. I had to do some repairs to the landing of the deck. I have not changed the footprint at all. I just replaced what was there to make it safe. And come to find out that there's an issue with the distance between the landing and the boundary of my property. My entire property is, backyard property is encased in a wrought iron fence, so this is well within the fencing area.
I have no questions.
Okay. Justin, do you have any questions?
questions.
Okay. Is there anyone here in favor or opposition?
I don't see any hands, so at this time, I'm going to mute the petitioner so the board can take a vote. This is 39-24.
Matter of 39-24, based on the existing conditions, I make a motion to approve the variance as requested.
Second that motion.
Okay. All of those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Okay, the motion carries.
All right, 40-24 Con Realty is a request for an exception to the front yard and sign regulations for the purpose of replacing signage at 3555 Dunn Road, maintaining a front yard of 0 feet in lieu of 15 feet and a price sign of 30 square feet in lieu of 20 square feet as required by the C8 Plan Commercial District Regulations, Section 1003.168 sign regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance, and C8 Ordinance 24,524. David, I see you're on the call. I'm going to request for you to unmute. And then just please state your name and then you'll be able to present to the board.
Hi, I'm David Williams. I'm with Billiant Signs, and we're requesting a variance regarding the setback for the front yard setback for the pole sign. It is currently a shell sign. Honestly, I think this foundation for the sign has been here since Dunn Road was Route 66 way back in the day. And I think the Missouri right-of-way has gotten closer to the sign versus the other way around. The sign hasn't moved in a long time. So we're just asking to put it back where it's been probably since the 60s or 70s. So again, the sign would be the same height. It's vaguely the same size. And we're just requesting to put it back on the existing foundation that's already out in the front yard. One of the hardships as far as moving it back is state of Missouri has recently made Dunn Road one way in this location. So if they were to actually move it back to the required setback, the sign would really be invisible from Halls Ferry. So they'd like to keep as much visibility as they can. So that one is an important one to them as well. As far as the overall size of the price sign, St. Louis County is kind of a anomaly in that they have a 20 square foot extra allowance for the gas price sign, but then they also limit the entire gas price sign to that 20 square feet versus letting the owner decide how much of the sign they want to associate with each of the functions, whether it's the brand ID or the price sign or the other advertising. So this is the only place around that we ask for this type of variance. So back in the day, there would be lots of multiple lines of changeable copy where they'd have to go out and change the price with the stick and the suction cup. But today, in the age of digital price signs, we've gotten away from that, and most of the sign, as you can see, is really just silver background area. So if we only counted the digits, we're not anywhere close to that 20 square feet. But the zoning department makes us count that entire silver area as sign, even though most of it is not doing the price function. So I just like to make sure that we could have the unleaded and the diesel of a size big enough to see from Halls Ferry, and also have it on that existing foundation.
So are you also trying to make the sign visible from the highway?
It will never be visible from the highway. 270 is just too tall at that area. The road bed is probably another 10 or 15 feet taller than this sign. So this is really only meant for local traffic.
Okay. And I'm very familiar with that area. So there's a quick trip across the street, and it's like basically like a little commercial intersection.
And the one-way thing is really taking them for a loop here as well. So.
Yeah, and like from New Halls Ferry, it's like up under the bridge. So yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Did you all have any other questions?
So the existing foundation will still be reused, though, correct?
That's the plan. Yes.
Yeah, it sits up. Okay. And then the hardship is obviously for the signage size is going to be with the branding, correct, for the Phillips 66 brand.
Yeah, they want to keep it within the limits of this style Phillips 66 station,
Okay.
and they really wanted the unleaded and the diesel to be similar sizes, so they're readable from Halls Ferry. And if we shrink this, just the price sign area, just that light silver area, down from 30 square feet to 20 square feet, they basically have to choose one or the other, but they really can't advertise both.
Understood. I have no other questions.
Okay. Justin, any questions?
No, I don't have any questions at this time.
Okay. Is there anyone here in favor or opposition?
I don't see any hands, so at this time, I'm going to mute the petitioner's representative so the board can take a vote. This is 40-24.
In the matter of case 40-24, I make a motion to approve both variants for the setback and for the signage variance, stating hardships for an existing foundation and for the need for visibility of the existing branded signage.
I second it. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. None opposed? Okay, the motion passes.
41-24, Lou Baumgartner is a request for an exception to the side and rear yard regulations for the purpose of replacing a retaining wall and fence at 4796 Kingbird Lane, maintaining both side yards of 0 feet in lieu of 8 feet and a rear yard of 0 feet in lieu of 15 feet as required by the R3 Residence District regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. Zach, I'm going to request for you to unmute. Please just state your name for the record and then you'll be able to present to the board.
This is Zachary Bell representing the Baumgartners.
Awesome, we can hear you. Thank you.
So the issue is we are replacing an old tie wall, an existing wall. It was there when the homeowners moved in 31 years ago. We had to go ahead and remove the existing wall because it was failing and it was becoming an issue for safety for the neighbors and pets and kids and things of that nature. I'm hoping just to put it back in the same place that it was at the same height all the way around. And the hardship would be to the homeowners would be they would lose ultimately their entire backyard if we had to move it into this 15-foot with this 15-foot setback. And with that being said, I would not be able to do my overdig for the structural components of the retaining wall, such as the backfilled rock and geogrid at the proper lengths, without getting into some other existing structures here, like the deck, the concrete pad, porch, and things of that nature.
Okay. So is there a former tie wall there now?
There was. We had to, like I said, we had to remove it because it was falling over and it was becoming a safety hazard for the neighbors and for the homeowners.
Okay. Do you plan to put it in the same location?
We're going to put it in the exact same place. That is correct.
Will the materials be block or pavers?
It will be 8-inch straight-faced rockwood stones, the stackable modular blocks.
And will you have a fence upon the top of that, or will it be just the height of the?
There will be a 4-foot chain link fence that was also existing. We removed that. We will be replacing it right behind the stones. So ultimately in the same place that it was for the old tie wall.
Okay. I want to confirm that with that drop off. Thank you for that. I have no other questions.
Okay. Okay, are there any other questions? Justin, do you have any?
No, not at this time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone here in favor or opposition?
I don't see any hands, so at this time, I'm going to mute the petitioner's representative so the board can take a vote. And this is 41-24.
Okay, 41-24. I vote to approve the variance as advertised, and the hardship being the need to put the retaining wall in the same place.
Second.
Okay. Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
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 Okay, none opposed, the motion passes.
All right, moving on to our final one for you guys today is 42-24 Benjamin Hall. This is a request for an exception to the front yard regulations for the purpose of constructing a new single-family residence at 7385 Telegraph Road, maintaining a front yard of 25 feet in lieu of 50 feet as required by the FPNU floodplain non-urban district regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance. Ben, I'm going to request for you to unmute at this time. Again, just state your name for the record, and then you'll be able to present to the board.
Hey everyone, this is Ben Hall. Yeah, so basically we are planning on building a house on this property that you can see right there. And what they're considering, what the county considers to be the front yard property line would be on the right-hand side of what you see on the screen here. And according to that, it's a 50-foot setback. And as you see here, we have an easement through it says KOC property. That's the Knights of Columbus is the neighbor to the east. And there is a driveway that goes down a hill and then comes into the property on that east, quote unquote, front property line. And the property slopes down towards the floodplain. So on the west-hand side of the property there, you can see the 500-year and the 100-year floodplain lines. And essentially the hardship is that we are concerned that if we use the 50-foot setback, that we will be that much closer to the floodplain. And this picture, as you see right now, actually, believe it or not, that field is halfway flooded right now, just from the Merrimack River being up, and it's should be rising a couple more feet here in the next day or so. So the 100-year and the 500-year floodplains are rising as they are drawn right now. There actually even is a revised FEMA flood elevations that are going to be coming out soon, from what I understand, and that is going to move the floodplain boundaries even closer, further up the hill. So this is a view looking down the driveway. So off to the left there, you see a pretty steep hill. That is the hill of the Knights of Columbus. And at either location, whether the house was built at 50-foot setback or 25-foot setback, you won't even be able to see the house from any neighboring properties, any neighboring houses. This is all basically back down the hill. But the purpose of the setback is to get the house as far away from the floodplain as possible, and just the kind of the lay of the land as well. If we were to try to use that 50-foot setback, it would cause the foundation of the house to be a good 10 feet lower in elevation, and just that much closer to the floodplain.
Okay.
Can you go back to the site plan? Please?
This one, or do you want?
Yeah, no, that's fine. They're right there. So can you kind of put your mouse, is that like a right of way, or how's that a front?
That was my question too. Like, why is that considered the front? And honestly, as I read, my interpretation of the 50-foot setback is that it's supposed to be 50 foot from a roadway right of way. But I mean, we are 500 feet from the nearest roadway right of way, which would be Telegraph Road. So my first argument was that's not even the front yard. That should be the side yard anyway.
Okay.
and should only be a 20-foot setback, but that was not what I was told by the county when we submitted the building for the building permit.
Okay.
Let me go back to the aerial really quick. I just wanted to understand it.
Okay.
Okay. I have no other questions.
Okay.
I don't
Is
have
there
any other questions.
Okay. Is there anyone here in favor or opposition?
I don't see any hands, so at this time, I'm gonna mute the petitioner.
What's this number?
This should
50?
be 42-24.
In the matter of 42-24, based on the constraints of the property in the floodplain, I make a motion to recommend approval of the requested variance.
I second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, the motion passes.
Just so everybody knows, I won't be able to attend the next meeting on the 15th, so
Okay.
just a heads up on that.
I'll be available, Angela.
And I will too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. So I move that we close this meeting. Okay. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Hey, have a great rest of your week, everybody.
Thank
All right, see
you.
you guys.
Well,
Thank
take care,
you.
guys. Thank you. Bye.